I would say today's sweet spot for agents includes any use case that is high volume, requires a high amount of rules or number of rules, and what I would like to say, like low joy for humans to complete. So of course, what Ramp has built today with this new release exactly fits that bill, right? It's perfect.
I've been following AI for a few years now, right? I use ChatGPT. I've learned to prompt. I'm okay at it, not an expert. I even use ChatGPT to write this question that we're talking about right now. You've talked a little bit about agents. You talked about reasoning. I have a graph here that I want to pull up in a second, but how are agents different than the LLMs that we've been using, the ChatGPT that we've been using for the last couple of, quarters and actually 2-3 years now? Let me pull up this graph.
Okay, let's see it.
I think I understand what's going on here, but if you could help me understand kind of the difference between automated workflows, which is what you were talking about, RPA, the AI workflows that we've been using that are kind of non-agentic, and now this new layer, which is agentic workflows. Help us understand kind of what this is.
I think it's a perfect avenue to talk about exactly what an agent is too and how we define it. This is a question I get a lot. I think the word agent has become quite the buzzword this past year, and we even at OpenAI have said over and over again, this year, 2025 is the year of agents. But people have different definitions of agents across the board. Now, how we're defining an agent at OpenAI is a system that performs a task on someone's behalf with a high degree of autonomy. So it's an AI that has a workflow that guides its behavior. It has access to tools that extend its capability, like web search, for example. And then it also has controls or guardrails to ensure it's always doing the right thing. And that's probably the most important part of any agent, especially for those that this technology is new to. There might be a level of fear there, but it can also decide then, given that, to stop, self-correct, and ask for human intervention when needed. Now, to compare a chatbot, or let's say the ChatGPT of 12 months ago, typically would answer only one turn at a time. Compare that to today's version of an agent, which is running a multi-step workflow until a certain objective is met. And that agent will check its own output via chain of thought and will retry or reroute to another model or human when needed. And I think that's the difference in these kind of 3 steps that we're seeing here. And as we can see, the agentic framework is just much cleaner and more straightforward.
As you're talking about, right, there's context windows where an agent can work for, let's say, maybe 15 minutes at a time, and that's going to get you so far, right? Yeah. As we think about where this technology is going, as we think about these agents working for longer periods of time, how should we think about kind of what is practical and what are the use cases for agents today with those constraints? And then what's coming next? How should we be thinking about agents that have larger context windows, much longer run times that can essentially do more work, higher complex work? How should we be thinking about that next stage?
I would say today's sweet spot for agents includes any use case that is high volume, requires a high amount of rules or number of rules, and what I would like to say, low joy for humans to complete. So of course, what Ramp has built today with this new release exactly fits that bill, right? It's perfect. What I anticipate us seeing in the future is more and more of those multi-agentic workflows. So if we talk about complex problems requiring really long context windows, as you mentioned, imagine something like a specialized team of agents coming together to solve those complex problems. Take, logistics orchestration, for example. Imagine if we had a routing agent, an anomaly detection agent, a quality control agent to solve that problem and execute it independently while working together. This technology, probably not a surprise, is possible today, but what I would say is we're just seeing companies begin to really build and deploy these. And I'm really excited to see the time savings that these workflows produce for us as humans. So, you and I can spend more time doing strategic things at work, and of course, spending more time on the things outside of work that we also love to do.